The gods themselves conspired to keep one man from ever seeing his home again. His name was Odysseus, king of Ithaca, and Troy had already fallen when his true trial began. Odysseus set sail for home with a fleet of ships and hearts full of victory, not knowing the sea itself would become his enemy. It was Poseidon, lord of the sea, who would make the voyage a curse. On a lonely island, Odysseus and his men found a cave full of cheese and milk, home to a one-eyed giant named Polyphemus, son of Poseidon. The Cyclops sealed them in with a boulder and devoured them one by one. Odysseus blinded the giant with a burning stake and escaped clinging beneath his sheep, but in his pride he shouted his name across the water. Polyphemus prayed to his father Poseidon for vengeance, and the sea god heard him. Aeolus, keeper of the winds, gave Odysseus a bag holding every storm that could blow him off course. Within sight of Ithaca's shores, his own men opened it, and the winds roared them back out to sea. On the island of Aiaia, the sorceress Circe turned Odysseus's men into swine with a single touch of her wand. Only the herb moly, gift of Hermes, protected Odysseus long enough to face her. Circe became his companion for a year, and at last told him the darkest truth of his journey. To find his way home, he must first walk among the dead. Odysseus sailed to the edge of the world, to the house of Hades. There, the blind prophet Tiresias warned him of Poseidon's undying anger, and of suitors gathering in his own halls. The shade of his mother told him Penelope still waited, faithful, weeping, and alone. Odysseus sailed on and faced the sirens, whose song lured sailors to their deaths on the rocks. He had his men bind him to the mast, while wax sealed their ears, so he alone could hear the deadly music and survive it. Next came the narrow strait between Scylla, a six-headed monster, and Charybdis, a whirlpool that swallowed ships whole. Odysseus steered close to Scylla and lost 6 men, screaming, torn from the deck, a price paid to survive the crossing. On the island of Thrinacia, his starving men slaughtered the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios, breaking a solemn oath. Zeus answered with a thunderbolt, shattering their ship and drowning every man but Odysseus. Alone, clinging to wreckage, Odysseus washed ashore on Ogygia, the island of the nymph Calypso. She kept him 7 years as her reluctant lover, promising immortality if he would only forget Ithaca. At last Athena pleaded his cause before Zeus, and Hermes was sent to command Calypso to let him go. Odysseus built a raft with his own hands and set sail once more into Poseidon's merciless sea. Poseidon, still unforgiving, wrecked the raft in a final storm, but Odysseus swam ashore on Scheria, land of the Phaeacians. There he told his story to King Alcinous, and the king's ships finally carried him home to Ithaca. 20 years gone, Odysseus returned disguised as a beggar, for his palace was overrun with suitors devouring his wealth and courting his wife Penelope. Only his old dog Argos and his faithful swineherd recognized the king beneath the rags. Penelope declared that she would marry whoever could string her husband's great bow, a feat no suitor could achieve. Odysseus alone strung it, then turned the arrows on the men who had defiled his home, reclaiming his throne, his wife, and his kingdom at last.